Jeff Keighley announced the nominees for this year's Game Awards. We're going to run through some of our favorite categories as well as talk about some media updates. We got a new series coming from the creator of John Wick for Hulu, as well as the Rampage movie trailer drops. We're going to be talking about all that right now on Inventory Full. Don't you go changing.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Let's just enjoy this a little bit.
It's so great.
Time to roll the dice. Yeah, this is a little bit of Cuphead, one of the nominees for Best Score / Music in the Video Game Awards. We're going to talk about all of those and more in a little bit. Welcome to Inventory Full. I'm one of your hosts, Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. Joined by Nate Miller.
What's up, nerds? Nate Miller here. You can find me on all social media at DogLikeNate.
Joined by Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hi everybody, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Stacey Shuttles.
Joined by Patrick Dees.
What up? You can find me at P to the D's, and I am feeling pretty good tonight, guys.
Yeah, that's
We're
great.
talking
You're
Game
looking pretty
Awards.
good.
I feel good.
Yeah, you look
good.
good.
To see you guys.
It's good to see. It was my highlight of my week is coming here and doing the show with everybody. If only there were more time to do it. That's a subtle hint.
Stay
Anyway,
Very subtle.
thank you, Steve. Before we get talking about some of the big news of the week, we're gonna go around real quick, talk about what we've been playing. Patrick, what you're the person that has played the most, and you're gonna
I play a lot.
I'm gonna be honest. You're
Yes.
probably gonna have a lot more to say about some of these categories
Yeah,
we're gonna
sure.
talk about
Yes.
later than the rest of us. But
Yeah.
what have you been playing?
So I a couple different things. I've been wanting to play Frozen Wilds. I started that. I've been kind of plunking away, but that Battlefield came out, and I was so morbidly curious about that
Battlefront?
single-player campaign, Battlefront.
Okay.
Shame.
And I gotta tell you, I was telling Stacey off air, I played the last several levels of that campaign.
Wow.
It's very rough. What do you guys want to know? Because I don't want to wreck too much, but I want to speak to some of my frustrations with it. So talk to me.
I mean, I'm not gonna buy it on principle as
Sure.
much as I love
I can
Star Wars
respect
and
that.
want to play it, and I'm sure it's beautiful and it plays great because DICE makes a great game. But I just can't. I feel like as a gamer, like culturally, I identify as a gamer, and I think this type of behavior is toxic for our culture, and I think
Totally.
it's just getting worse and worse, and we have to take a stand. And I think this is the place where we should take a stand. Unfortunately, it only takes a few people to buy the game and a few people to buy the microtransactions for them to make their nut. But I'm hoping that they take some type of a noticeable hit and maybe something changes. I like to be the optimist, but I'm not gonna buy it. So I don't care about spoilers in this case.
I really appreciate your principle, and I think part of me was like, okay, look, I'm able to compartmentalize the campaign written by Mitch Dyer and Walt Williams. Walt Williams wrote Spec Ops: The Line, which I think is arguably one of the best video game narratives. Hard stop.
Yeah.
Very excited about this.
I need
It's
to play
very
that,
dark.
then.
You do.
It's been on my list, but the gameplay doesn't look that great, so I.
But that also,
But if
like,
the story's good,
also
I'll play it.
subverts your expectations, and they do some neat stuff with gameplay.
Okay.
So I was like really excited about this. They show the trailers, like you're this Inferno Squad, right? Like they set this up to be a game, much the way they did Halo 5. Do you remember the way they started the Halo 5 campaign, where it was
Yeah.
Master Chief versus Locke, and that wasn't the fucking game we played. This also isn't the game. So I won't spoil.
Please don't.
What? I won't spoil major beats, and I certainly won't spoil who some of the guest stars of the game are. But I
I've
will
just heard
say
that
it
there's
plays like fanfic
Yeah.
with no explanation. So the
Like
first
not
3
good
chapters.
fanfic?
Well, so like EA Access came out, right?
'cause
Like they need a reason to
Very-
have these other assorted characters be in the campaign for some reason.
And nefarious reasons. Here's why. Look, so you played it. You play the first 3 that was available in EA Access, right? The first 3 levels. So that was just like the campaign that they'd promised, right? Like it was Inferno Squad, and it sets up this really interesting narrative. And then all of a sudden, it's like guest character for no reason, and it's not good. It isn't. Again, I don't want to wreck like what happens, because I know some people might be really anxious and might be excited to play some of these characters.
You shouldn't be. You should
My
feel
point
guilty.
is that it's fanficky as shit, and then also the reason I think that they give you, and again, this is, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like the reason they introduce these characters is because they're the heroes in the multiplayer.
Oh, exactly.
And they go, oh, I want this. You play as Han Solo. Oh, I want to play as Han Solo in the multiplayer. Like, I've experienced playing with him. He's awesome in the campaign. But like, so many of these levels are recycled assets from the multiplayer levels. And there is a level, the Naboo level, that is straight like a multiplayer game. It's not even like
it's
bespoke content.
I'd
It's
say
just like
closer to
fucking-
the Titanfall 1, where
Yeah,
it's sort of like
kinda.
tutorial for multiplayer.
Yeah.
Now, like one of the things that I is so easy, and it's way that games used to work, is you would have these encounters, you would play as or against these characters, and
Yeah.
then once you were finished with that level, it would say, "Oh, you've unlocked that character."
Right.
And that seems like the easiest solution to me for the heroes.
Right.
And then all of the other, like, if you want hero lines, like if you want extra lines of dialogue as the heroes, that's a loot box thing.
Sure.
If you want this or that, that's a loot box thing. But for characters, I read a thing of people starting with the hero mode, hero versus heroes, or heroes versus villains. I forgot what it was called in the first game, but that's one where you just hop in. It's 6-on-6. 3 characters are hero characters. 3 characters are troop characters.
Sure.
And you could just play because that's that. But with this, you turn it on and you wouldn't be able to play because none of the heroes are unlocked at drop, which is ridiculous.
Oh man, and this is literally, and I think, like, to their credit, like, audiovisually, I think they nail the Star Wars aesthetic. Like, the game's gorgeous, all that stuff. But I'm telling you, like, it's not even as advertised. It's not the narrative that they were pitching in these. At least the
That's what I heard,
majority
too.
of it.
I'm really hopeful that it's a legitimate continuation to what Christy Holden's book was. The Inferno Squad book was fantastic
I've
and made
heard
me
as
excited
much.
to play as those characters again in a continuing story. But we could talk about this all day, and we will probably do that at a later date.
Yeah.
So was that the only thing that you played this week?
Really quickly, I played episode 0 of the
Wolfenstein?
The Wolfenstein DLC. All that does is introduce the people that you're going to be playing as. They've got like 3 short levels of all of the different characters. Again, it's pulpy. It's amazing. It's
great.
just cool. And then some Frozen Wild. And hot damn, that game is a good-looking game.
So pretty.
Have you been playing? Talk to
I've
me.
been playing so
All
much
right.
Frozen Wilds.
Good. At least one of us have been.
I've been splitting my time between Frozen Wilds and Wolfenstein 2, and then before the weekend started, I got through What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yes.
Which
I'm on a quest to get every one of you to
That
play.
Oh no,
game-
it's I want to do it before Game Awards.
that game was an experience.
It is. You will never forget that, right?
Some of the gameplay mechanics were just so incredible.
I agree.
That blown away by, it's a short game, but
Yeah.
boy, that was an immersive couple of hours.
And I know I wrote you, Mark. I'm sorry. I wrote like a small novel on Twitter.
No, I
You're
appreciate
like,
it.
Which
I
do you
appreciate
like?
it.
And I used every one of them. I used like 279 of the 280. I watched that little blue circle fill all the way up, but I had a lot to say. They're both games
Fair.
that are important to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was an excellent game to kind of start my weekend with, and then I spent the rest of it going back between the absolute insanity of Wolfenstein, and then just this like beautiful, serene, and also horrific winter of Frozen Wilds.
Can I ask you how far in Wolfenstein you are? Non-spoiler.
I just got to what I guess would be considered one of the first major story beats.
Where
I don't know
geographically
where
are
to
they?
go.
Where are they in the world?
We have finished with.
That's so hard.
I know. I'm trying to like not give away where we are. I finished with the Area 50.
Perfect.
51.
Got it. Yeah, I know exactly
That
where you are.
whole.
Interesting.
So that whole.
I know exactly where
Okay.
you are.
So I just came back from that.
You've seen some
situation.
shit.
I've
And
seen some shit.
Trust you me, you're just getting started.
Boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've jumped from that where it is just, chaos and slaughter and just
Yeah.
continue. Like that game is nonstop with throwing the violence at you and just throwing you into these insane situations. And then there's Frozen Wilds where I just go around capturing herds of machines and having them all follow me around all over the place. So it's a different pace. So I haven't finished Frozen Wilds yet, but I have finished almost all the side quests and all the stuff in the world.
Sounds about right.
Of course you have. Yeah.
Frozen Wilds is great because you can climb everything. You can climb so high. There are mountains and you can actually go up them.
I love that this is the barometer by
So-
which games are judged. No,
Well,
you
because
climb
the whole world is kind of, you're getting out of bounds when you start going uphill.
Yeah.
That's usually how like they end the world. That's the edges. You could go pretty far up those edges and
that's
stand out and look out over the world.
Snatch
You
those
played
edges.
Zelda?
I have not yet, but
That's
I
that
am-
game's whole hook, right? You can climb
I'm ready.
anything
I
all
know.
the time.
I'm ready.
Right,
I'm ready
yeah.
to play that one. That's next on my list of
Gotta
games
get that
to acquire.
Switch.
But no, I'm enjoying Frozen Wilds a lot. It's beautiful. Aloy is such a fun character to play with. I think she's such an interesting character.
Oh, and we're going to talk about her later, but
In a
I
minute.
kind of disagree. But whatever.
Oh.
Hey, we'll talk about her.
In a minute. Hey,
Yeah.
Nate, what have you been playing?
Destiny.
Yeah. But what's your light level?
I hit 305.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buddy.
I was
So you're done?
Yeah, saying earlier, yeah, I needed the drop, and I said in my head, it'd be really nice if Zavala gave me this, and sure enough, that's what he gave.
The Zavala, you're like,
I got my
"Thank you, Zavala."
305 Vigilance Wing, which I've been waiting to
Oh,
have.
sick.
And just, oh my god, I love that thing.
Yeah.
It just shreds people.
Nice.
They peek out, and it's like, bye bye. It's
Melting people.
oh, it's so good. Yeah, and I don't know. I haven't done.
You gonna put it down until Osiris comes out, or what are you doing?
No.
I mean, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, I still have another my Titan's 305, my Warlock is 299, my Hunter is level 15, but that'll only take me a few weeks. I want to have all three of them capped out before the expansion.
Okay.
So I'm not so it's easier to have people doing that content than
Yep.
as opposed to trying to do it again when it's just the new stuff. But also, I don't know, quickly, if you guys saw the new stuff, there is not going to be a new raid, but there's a new wing
Yeah.
of the raid, a raid
Yeah.
layer, which
Yep.
is like shorter, but still very hard.
I'm into
So yeah, I mean, I'm into it too. The idea of the Leviathan is that it's huge, so it makes sense for there to be multiple things
Yeah.
there. I like the environment a lot, so I'm not necessarily upset about it. It could be really cool. I'm waiting, but I also like, I liked Vault of Glass and
Yeah.
then going to Crota. Like, even though Crota was buggy and kind of shit, it was like completely different enemies, completely different world, and like different mechanics. And then, and then we got a different raid. So I don't know how I feel about, because the next one too is going to be another layer, another wing with the
Interesting.
Leviathan.
When I
Yeah.
first seen the announcement, I misinterpreted it. I thought they were bringing back the raids from the first game.
No,
I
wish they
totally
were.
misinterpreted
But I think
that.
that's honestly, I think that's going to happen. I think
Sure.
that's on the block for them to do some type of upgrade and bring them back, because they can reuse.
Rebalance.
I mean, yeah, just upgrade out some of the textures. Most of the assets are fine. They just
Yeah.
throw them in there.
Yeah.
Plenty of people,
Should redo Atheon.
especially the PC crowd, didn't play. So
No,
they,
right, yeah.
Quote,
It's
quote,
all
un-
new.
quote
It's
unquote
all new
didn't
stuff
play.
to them.
Totally.
Quote unquote didn't play.
Well, there's a good amount of.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like there's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I played on console. I had 3 characters. Like, we run through stuff and they know where everything is.
Right,
they
right.
know, which is fine, because I'd rather just do it the fast way. But there are people who are like, oh, what is this? Oh, I only play Minecraft or.
Hey, come on.
Sounds like a PC gamer.
Or I play Dota, or like I play League. I don't
Right,
play the shooting kind of games.
Yeah.
You know. So.
There are arrows
This
in
is
Minecraft.
my first raid, as we're like doing Callus and like we're calling in the rooms, son, axes. Wouldn't it be cool if like when you're
No!
outside,
Shut up!
keep the comms clear, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few groups where like it's like, this is cool. It's nice to take some people through the first time, even though it's a little bit of a hassle to explain some things. And there's some other times where it's like, get me the fuck out of here. I
Yeah.
don't even need this loot right now. It's not. Get
I
outta
swear to
here.
God, if I get the sword again, I'm gonna be rolling.
I didn't. I got it this week. I didn't have
Nice.
it yet, so I was.
Oh, it's a
excited.
pretty sword.
Yeah. It's
All of that raid gear is so
and it's
pretty.
and it has both of the good sword stats, the extra damage and the ammo refresh. It's kind of
Are
ridiculous.
you gonna be playing that day one when Osiris drops?
Osiris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
I think I'm gonna be playing it day one.
I know. I'm itching. It's been long enough. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute since I played Destiny. I went and did a couple of the weeklies this last week now, and I was just like, I forgot how to do stuff, because I'd been playing Mario, which is so like rubber bandy and easy to pick up and play. But so yeah, that was a little bit fun. Some people are in the clan I'm in are trying to do the raid tonight, and I might be a crutch for them.
Okay.
Just to go on through it.
Great.
I almost want to get it on PS4 and bang out a character just so I can play with you guys.
I
But
love it.
but I know that the 30 FPS is gonna drive me nuts.
Gonna mess
now.
with you?
It's gonna.
Well, I'm
be
just saying, Black Friday,
Ugh.
you can find it at a couple of stores for like $25-$30, which isn't bad. And I'm thinking of doubling up on one of the consoles.
Yeah,
Maybe-
that
maybe
4K
I
that
will.
4K patch drops. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe
It
we
might
get
be
60
worth
frames.
to play with you guys.
Maybe. So aside from that, first I want to talk about Blizzard World, which dropped on the PTR and Overwatch today. Stacey and I got to play a couple of rounds today.
yeah.
It's
Look at Stacey. She's like,
it's fun, it's cool, but it also
Okay.
changes, like the point that you have to capture before the payload pops up is just holes on either side. It's buildings and holes on either side that
Oh,
people
cool.
can. It's really cool.
It is very cool. It's almost like they kind of took the setup of approaching Volskaya and just added more after that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is a very unique setup. It is extremely spread out. There are pathways all over the place. I know I didn't even get to go into half of the different like little areas and tucked away places that you are going to be able to go in. You know, every time I came out of spawn, I'd look over to one side and be like, oh, there's a health pack way down there. There's some stairs that curve around and come back up right next to the point. So it's going to be a lot to explore.
Yeah, we only got to play a couple of rounds, and we were up against a very interesting team comp before we signed off. That didn't allow us to see a little bit further into the defense area.
It is
But
so surprising how
Like 4
effective
bastions
all
or something?
support comps are.
all support. Five
yeah.
support, 1 Genji.
Yeah.
And then once we captured the
Rex.
point, 4 support, Genji Pharah. And then
Yeah.
we didn't get it too far. But
Yeah.
Moira's a beast. So
Moira
like
is a beast.
I finally got to put some good time in with Moira on this session.
Liked it?
It liked it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
fun.
I was just like sort of spam healing people in the waiting area.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that her heals have to respawn. That your meter goes back up, and the only way that you can get it to go up faster is if you cause damage to people. So
Oh.
I was
You're playing on
essentially
PC?
I was useless when
that's
the
rad.
doors opened.
You're playing on
Yeah.
PC, Stacey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
should play tonight.
Hey, remember
Yes.
how we
Yes.
played together
I
that
know,
one time in
yeah.
Deathmatch?
That one
Wait,
time.
PC?
That was fun.
It's like I didn't know. And then, so yeah, go if you have PC, go check it out on the PTR. I finally beat Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm so happy to be done with it. Because by the
Now I
end, it
get to play
was
it.
just getting to be repetitive and silly and stupid. Now here's the thing: is
hurts.
I love how the world looks. I love how the machines operate.
Not how it's game of the year.
Nope. Not for me, and that's fine. And that's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you like it, that's
mean,
great.
Right, of
I'm
course.
Crazy to
not
think
mad
that
at
it
you.
would be given the other release. this year.
Right.
Yeah, there's
But-
so much. There's so much of it that I totally understand why people get it. For my particular playing and what happened to me, all of the story stuff is interesting and was interesting.
Sure.
And the world is interesting and beautiful. If Sony decides, oh hey, this Last of Us movie isn't working out for us, what's our next big franchise that we can make a movie out of?
Please.
And they make a live-action Horizon Zero Dawn movie.
Stop, don't
I
tease.
will be there day one,
Yeah,
not just because I'm
100%.
contractually obligated to watch all video game related movies,
You are.
but because I was interested in this world and I want to see how they do it. But not even the performance capture, because it wasn't performance capture.
Nope.
It was facial capture, and all of the fact that there was a conversation between the quote unquote main villain of the game
Sure.
and our hero Aloy, and anytime it was the reverse shot, they were just mindlessly going, just nodding and just like, I will make sure the world burns at my feet and the glory of the sun. And Aloy's just like,
Yeah.
it's
Gonna burn. Okay.
yeah. Takes me right. And there was a moment.
It's gonna burn.
There was a moment near the end where it was a really heartfelt thing. These two main characters are like, "Well, I'm off. Time to go.
Yes.
I leave this whole thing to you." And this is and I'm gonna go back in the camera so hopefully that you can see it. And Aloy says, "Me." Like literally, it was me, space, and then just casual like. Point to herself. I was like, "What are you? You're trying to make me not like you, game." So the performance capture doesn't do the performances justice, because the character work that, like for instance, Ashley Birch, who was nominated for Game Performance of the Year, I think that's totally worth it.
Sure.
But if it was under any different technology, this is like the opposite of LA Noire, but worse in terms of like you can't say that this game is all this big spectacular thing and then just whatever, we'll just fudge it in the story, we'll just put heads on bodies that are moving. And as an actor, it's very frustrating because every character has the same body language for everything and they have the same head nods,
The same idle animation. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to be engaged, I was just like whatever, and then the very end of the game pissed me off so much. I was like, I don't even care enough to see what's gonna. And then I checked to see if that's what the story of Frozen Wilds was, which it isn't, which is bullshit. So if you like Horizon Zero Dawn, this isn't sarcasm. Good for you. I'm really happy that you found a game that you could enjoy. It wasn't for me. Now it's Nate's turn, and he's gonna play it. He's borrowing my copy.
This is
So
not
I-
a game
I
that I
just-
would pick up. It's not on my radar.
I-
at all.
So
It's
a
all-
thing where if you hit it and you go, I don't want to play this anymore, don't force yourself.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
I'm
none of that got in
almost
my way.
80% sure that I'm not going to finish the game. Even if I like it, I don't know if
I think it's one of the great all-time open world games. And like it does, there's so many
I
smart
do like
systems.
open world
I do
games,
too.
though.
And they do this thing where, like, for example, it's a small thing. If you're missing a crafting ingredient, you go to a vendor. You don't have enough to buy it. You can press square, and it says "Make Quest," and then just puts that shit on your map so you
Okay,
can go
I
get
like
it.
that.
No,
It's
there's-
so
It is
I like
smart.
that.
wonderfully intuitive.
That's-
It is
yeah.
so smart. It does this thing like all these antiquated systems that like people just put in games. I feel like on the regular because they work and people are familiar with them. It rethought a lot of that. I'm with you, Mark. Like it didn't always translate 1-to-1, but for me, I was just more invested. I bought into the story. It worked. All of it. All of this hit for me. The story, even the performances.
We'll see.
I don't know. It
I
worked.
didn't like how your reward for like I liked the world.
Yeah.
But it's the difficulty of the world seemed to be all right, you know how to take care of maybe a pack of this particular
Sure.
animal, or even a single of this giant animal. Great, cool, fantastic. When it would turn into an arena fight and like a thunderjaw or something, like a giant robot,
Yep.
and you were like, okay, this is my area, these are the rules, great. But then when you're doing that in the open world and all of a sudden you have a bunch of glint hawks also coming in,
Also the
that's not fun. That's not fun to me when it just says, hey, you're doing a great job. We're just going to throw more shit at you
But it
so
doesn't
that it's
always. Those
frustrating.
are open world systems. Just like that is
Yeah.
not a game direct. That is literally just systems crashing into each other. It's not like it was scripted that way. And it sucks that happened. For me, that was a chance of like, oh, I'm fucked. Let me go regroup.
No, but even
Run
so,
away!
Yeah, totally.
Roll out of there!
near the end of the game when you're trying to go to this important spot, that important spot, and it's literally a little bit of traversal, and then fuck, what robots do we have? Here, we'll throw these robots in the area, and you have to get through them to go climb up. I didn't stop to kill them because I didn't. There
you
was
don't need to.
Yeah,
No.
you don't. You choose those fights.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is I don't know what it wants from me. Does it
that's-
want me
that's
to
fair,
run?
that's fair.
Or does it?
I mean, you've been thrown into this hostile world that is full of these machines. I mean, I think that that's just completing the entirety of the world. You really don't have to engage any of them if you don't want to.
Nope.
I mean, and once you like level up your stealth and you're moving. I walk right next to herds and.
But
Okay.
I will
You don't
say this
attack them, they
too.
don't attack
I
you.
just want to say this really quickly because
Go
I
ahead.
think the thing that I loved about it too was I genuinely feel like most games I can play Destiny straight through, and I don't actually know if I got any better. Like I know like my dude leveled up. And because of that, my skills, my skills personally, Patrick's skills might not have ever changed. Like, but my dude got more powerful in game, and then I beat the last boss. I genuinely feel like my 40, 50, 60 hours I spent with this, from Aloy, who first grabs a bow, to the end, I became a killing machine. Because it layers on these systems beautifully, and then as you learn them, I felt like I was rewarded. By the end of it, I felt like I was a fucking terror. Like, bring it on. And not because Aloy got more powerful, because I got better understanding the systems and how they worked, and it was so rewarding for me. So the combat for me was extraordinary, and I don't know of another game that I felt like I personally got better at by the end.
Cool, that's great.
Have you done the raid yet?
No, and I need to. I just don't have any
Okay.
raid friends.
Because I agree with everything that you say, with the exception of the raid, because
totally.
it's. I wouldn't say it's the best raid that they've done, but it's
Right.
really good at mechanics, and even some of them are like simple, but it's still execution. And if
Yeah.
you don't get it perfect, you're gonna wipe, and you gotta start over.
Fair enough.
So I would love to talk more about Horizon Zero Dawn, and we probably will the closer we get
Totally,
to end
yes.
of the year and Game of the Year stuff.
I'm gonna
and once you
pound it
play
out,
a little
and then I
bit
will
of
have
it,
an opinion.
yeah. Once you play a little
Can't
bit of
wait.
it, we'll be
You
able
guys
to.
are like talking about. I'm like.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk more about that. I'm excited to,
Yep.
and it's not going to be a debate.
No.
It's just going to be an expression of what I thought about the game.
No, totally.
So stay tuned for more of that. Let's get to a little bit of the news. GameStop paused its game rental program. Just
Yeah.
out of the blue, it said, "Hey, sorry everybody." Now, ultimately, it was something of they're pausing the rollout, but if you already purchased the service, you can return the game that you had and still pick a pre-owned game for up to full price.
kinda cool.
Which is great. So they're like, sorry, we weren't ready. It's ultimately they probably weren't ready. Their systems weren't ready, and their
yeah.
stock wasn't ready.
When I pointed out the stock things, one of them was listening, and they went, "Oh, shit."
Oh, they
They
must
called
have
the
been.
higher
Nate's
ups
right.
and, yeah, took care of that.
yeah, GameStop, where's the hookups? We'll be on
You're
GameStop
welcome.
TV.
Yeah.
Thank
We got you, guys.
I'm so excited for them to bring that out. This happened Monday last week, so we didn't really get a chance to talk about it. Hulu announces a Hitman series from John Wick creator Derek Kolstad. This
Yeah, they did.
could be pretty great.
I like me some John Wick.
I'm on board.
Yeah, I
All
know.
about the John
Me
Wick.
too. And how many times when you were watching John Wick did you think about Agent 47? Like
Yeah.
more than once.
Well,
Like
the
oh,
way
yeah,
that
he-
they have their like system in place too
yes,
in that world,
100%.
like,
That's society, right? That it always
Yep.
like.
It's perfect.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, yes.
Yep.
Yes. That's a really good
Yep.
fit.
I hope
Yeah.
that there's an appreciation for some of the silly occurrences that can happen in Hitman, to where it's like, oh, 47's gonna dress like a party clown.
I think there will be, because John Wick, as dark and violent as it is, still has a good sense of humor.
It
in many
really,
different parts.
really does,
It
doesn't
doesn't
it?
take itself seriously in enough places to that there's some laughs.
Right.
But,
So
but
if they
Hopefully
do
they
that,
can
yeah.
find that
yeah, it's the attention to detail in Wick that I just
Also,
think is so good.
Yeah, and I love that it's on Hulu. We'll give them the freedom to be, I hate to, not that I want it to be gratuitously violent, but like it's Hitman.
They
so.
can
It's
do
a-
it.
Yeah.
And John
Blood
Wick's
splatter.
pretty violent.
Yes, exactly.
It's wall-to-wall killing.
so
and
Kolstad,
then it ends. Yeah.
Kolstad is on board to write the pilot.
Great.
And executive produce the entire series.
Fucking
So,
awesome.
so that's a good
Great.
foot forward. There is no time frame.
Yeah.
But Deadline reported that it will hew closely to the mythology of the perennial popular video game.
Fantastic, because it's just weird enough to be fun.
Yeah.
Like that. That's why I think that people keep going back to that well with Hitman, is because it's like it's weird and awesome. And who doesn't like Hitman and like?
Yeah.
And so if you want to speaking of some fun jaunts, why don't you go on iTunes, or even previously in this playlist, back when we were Video Game Movie Anatomy, even back when we were Do Games Make Good Movies?
Oh, yes.
I missed the Agent 47 episode.
Oh, did you?
So I still haven't seen that one, thank goodness. But we did cover both movies.
Should we
so
do that?
Should you do it again? No, God.
No,
no.
no.
But I do kind of want to bring back the old format for like there are 3 video game movies
I know.
coming out within the
Got
next
some.
like 6 months.
Yep.
Which is
Yeah.
crazy. And one of those is Rampage, starring Rock the Dwayne Johnson. So
Video game movie.
No, this is a video game movie,
Yeah.
100%. It's based on a property.
Right.
Now let's take a look.
It shares the name with the
this
property.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, but okay.
Because
let's-
Rampage
let's
is
hit play.
very plot heavy.
It is
Very plot heavy game.
Look, all right, so it may not be super plot heavy, but ultimately it's The Rock is an animal handler,
Yeah,
of course,
of course.
naturally.
Yeah.
Wearing
The Rock is my favorite character in the Rampage game.
He's the best.
General The Rock. So he's friends with George, one of the animals he takes care of, which is a rare albino ape. And as a result of some tampering or alien, some sort of mist.
Does it doesn't matter? Does it really
It's
matter?
unexplained.
It doesn't really.
It
Either way, George starts to grow a little bit out of control and goes into this sort of rampage state. He's still himself. George is still George at the core.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I know. I got very
and
choked
the Rock,
up.
The Rock cares about his friend.
I know he does.
Now,
Rock always cares about his friends.
but I like the premise of not, hey, they're just randomly giant rampaging animals, but it's a secret government thing, and Rock is trying to save them from being killed. It's a nice message. PETA won't get mad at it, and all sorts of things. Now, seeing from the director of San Andreas, a little worrying.
That was
Wait a minute.
That's the movie where Rock punches an earthquake in the face.
Exactly.
Right? Got it.
In San Francisco.
Which is a great premise.
I agree.
At its
that what
core, the
happens
rock
in
punching in her face.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
No, he tries to save his daughter, who is caught in the middle of the big one
By punching it.
By punching it.
That's how he solves his problem.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
also, movie comes out April 20th.
420.
On
Oh,
420.
yeah.
They know their audience.
Not an accident.
Not an accident whatsoever.
You know what
So-
the sad part is? This movie's gonna make so much.
It is! But, like, it's also...
Oh my God.
Dude, this looks like fun. It's
What?
It looks like fun.
Yeah.
I don't,
Look,
that's
I
not
look
saying that it's going to be
ridiculous,
good.
but I mean-
Look, they had a wolf take out a helicopter at the beginning of this movie, and sign me up for that shit.
Dude, I'm all about Ralph.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm on board. Did you ever see Lake Placid? Did you ever see where the helicopter, the crocodile takes a helicopter over the air? On board.
Now here's how much of I'm a big fan of the original game, and the entire time I'm like, wait a minute, where's Lizzie? Yes, I know their names, and we got Lizzie. So all 3 of the main Rampage characters are gonna be in it, and I'm unnecessarily excited for it.
Yes.
Because this is gonna be one where we can actually sit back and have fun on purpose, and not sit back and have fun because we're all going to die down here.
Right,
Because
right.
we're just trying to make it feel better.
Exactly. This is one that I'm a little I'm more excited to see at theaters than a Tomb Raider. I'm actually
Let's just go pre-gamed. Very
You know what? Yeah,
heavily.
you know what I'll tell you is I don't like that movie today, but on that day,
I agree.
I may enjoy it very
Kind of
On
much.
board.
That's
I find it very
the
funny.
only day.
Look at that "fuck you" helicopter, says the wolf.
The only day where all movie
Unbelievable.
theaters are going to have showtimes that start directly at 4:20 or
Yes.
maybe 4:30, just a little bit of pregame time. But yeah,
Unbelievable.
it's going to make a lot of money. I'm excited for it. We're going to get a Rampage World Tour as
Right.
the sequel, and we're
Right.
going to introduce more monsters.
Let's get an HD remix, a 4K Rampage for the Xbox One X.
I'm
Rampage
about
in
it.
3D.
Dude, I played the crap out of Rampage.
I played a little bit.
Before like microtransactions were a thing, Midway used to have all of their arcade classics on their website for free. So I used to play Rampage at home a lot.
shit.
A lot.
We used to get dropped off at this arcade that you spent like $5 to get in, and then like games were a nickel, but they just had shitty old games. One of them being Rampage, and so it was
Spy
nickel
Hunter.
after yes, Moonwalker.
That's not shitty.
I mean, yeah. And
You turned into a
X-Men.
giant robot.
Yes.
This is what Mark's going to debate about. Not right.
Golden Axe. I played
Yeah.
a lot of these for a nickel at a pop. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yep.
All right. I'm
Basket Brawl.
Basket Brawl. What a flashback. Oh my goodness.
You punch people and you can pants them in a game of basketball.
Hold on, what?
Game of the year. Yeah, it's an arcade basketball game where
it's
you
in
can
the
pants
rules.
somebody. It is in basketball.
Yeah.
Genius.
Not just street ball.
You know,
I really don't want to talk about Battlefront 2, but hey,
I don't either.
They suspended their microtransactions.
Suspended temporarily.
Yes,
Yeah.
not got rid of. They
No, I
suspended.
know.
Yeah, don't
I feel
believe
bad for the
them.
people who bought crystals like beforehand.
Yep.
And now they're essentially just hanging on to a dead currency for a little while because they may not ever go back to them.
They'll be back.
They will crystals,
Yeah.
but maybe they'll just change how
They'll
how it
go-
works.
no,
Either way,
they're gonna-
let's talk about the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole bunch of nominees. I've got several pages.
Yeah, we do.
Really quickly,
Got my winners.
I wanted to point out how wonderful it is that there is a Chinese Fan Game Award.
Yeah.
Mostly because a lot of the benefactors of the Video Game Awards do come from Chinese mega conglomerates. And to go towards that audience not only may not have been forced, but either way, I think it's great to recognize games from other regions.
Keeley's got a distribution deal in
Yeah.
China with Tencent, so like that's not a surprise.
No, not a surprise. I really like it.
Yep.
So let's start at the bottom. Best debut
We're
indie
starting
game.
at the bottom, so
All right,
Stacey
all
and I are
right.
scrolling
No,
down.
hold on. Get
Sorry.
on board.
Okay.
I've
What are we
got,
best debut indie game. So I want to hear who you guys want and who you think will win.
Mr. Shifty did a lot, was super popular, and I know a lot of people liked it when it came out.
Cuphead.
I think Golf Story is surprising people a lot. It's the golfing RPG.
It is. People love it.
Yeah, and it's
People love
something. It's one of the indie games on the Switch that people what?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Get wrecked, son. But I think it'll either be Cuphead or Golf Story. I would like for it to be Golf Story.
I heard Hollow Knight is pretty good too.
People
Hollow
love
Knight's
Hollow
been on
Knight.
my
I think it's
radar
gonna
for a
be
long
Cuphead.
time. I keep like looking at it on Steam, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy that today. I'm gonna buy that today. I
Yeah.
haven't bought it yet, but
Cuphead wins this one.
I have a
I
friend
agree.
who swears by Hollow Knight. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my type of game.
What kind of swears?
Cuphead sold phenomenally. I feel like this was. I think.
And it's
I
been
wanted to
most
win and it will
anticipated.
win. Yep.
It's been most anticipated.
Yep.
Best esports game: Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, Overwatch, and Rocket League.
Overwatch.
League.
I think it's between Overwatch and League.
I
too.
agree. I think Overwatch recently has been kind of revolutionizing how esports, or not revolutionizing, but expanding and really kind of bringing it a little more into.
I think they're trying to
main
make it
focus.
watchable. It like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love playing it and I like the idea of the esport, but it's been very difficult to watch, especially if you don't play the game. I think
That's true.
recently they've made it a lot better, but even then, if you don't play the game, there's still that's the one thing that like League and Dota have in common that you can. I don't know about Dota so much, but League they've worked a lot on the clarity so that someone who's never seen the game can kind of get an idea. But Counter-Strike is the king of that, just because there's terrorists and there's not terrorists, and there's a bomb and they shoot each other. Like
Yep.
they're either
That's
alive or
very
they're not.
straightforward.
Yeah, I
It's
think
pretty
League of
simple.
Legends has done more this year to put esports in the forefront. I think Rocket League is the most watchable, but ultimately I think League of Legends would take.
I think League is
Yeah.
going to get it because with them having their world finals in China this year, they set even more records.
Oh, interesting.
Because the thing is, like, there's a lot of even because it's always the Chinese and the Korean teams that make it to the finals anyways. So we get a lot of viewers when it's like in Europe or it's in the States. But when it's in China, the time zones line up too. So like you don't miss out on people that would be like sleeping instead of watching or something. Everybody just watches it live.
Yep.
So.
Solid. Most anticipated game: Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, Marvel Spider-Man, and God of War.
Look at Sony getting 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys? So, who do you
Dead.
think wins, and then who? What do you want it to be? I hate this category, by the way.
I don't
say
like
this
it.
is
I don't
such a
like it.
shitty
Very
category.
silly.
Yeah.
But Red Dead wins this walking away, right?
I don't know. I think that or Last of Us. I
Yeah,
think those are the
Last of Us has a
two.
chance.
I'm a Last of Us guy. I just think Rockstar can put a red logo on their Twitter feed and get 1 million retweets.
It could be. I think it could be God of War though.
I'm
Because,
excited about God
because
of
the
War.
trailers looked great.
I agree.
And
There's-
it's another beloved series too.
There's no way it beats Red Dead.
But there's more to see right now. There's like we have the one Red Dead trailer.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, but it's.
I
most
agree with you,
anticipated.
and I would rather
It's
see.
a shitty. It's a
Yeah.
shitty.
Yeah.
I hate that category.
It's a shitty.
It's a shitty.
Best multiplayer: Call of Duty, World War II, Destiny 2, Fortnite. We'll talk about that. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Splatoon 2 because there was a tie.
What is this category?
Sure. Best multiplayer.
Best
No, I mean
I know.
who's
The only reason Fortnite is on that, no offense, Steve, I know you play it a lot, is because of Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
is
of
the
course.
category here? Is this all? Does it have to be like games that came out this year? For
Yes.
most
Yes.
of the categories.
Up
Okay.
until December 7th.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So
I mean, I
PUBG
want.
wins this, right?
Yeah.
PUBG
unfortunately.
doesn't. PUBG wins this.
It should be Destiny.
I want Destiny. Destiny's
like,
what I want.
Yeah, because PUBG's fun, but Destiny's like, and even though their multiplayer needs a lot of work too, it's polished.
I totally It's so much
it's
fun
so
to play that with
smooth.
people.
Yeah, the guns.
Polish. You want to talk about polish?
I do.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's so like.
I haven't played it.
Well, first of
Yeah.
all,
I'm sure.
that you can play anywhere because it's on the Switch. It's pick up and play. You automatically have 2-player access. You can play it either online or personally. And taking the polish that was Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U and adding just an extra layer of quote stank onto it, I think that is up. Those three, Battlegrounds, Mario Kart, and Destiny 2 are the first three that should be thought about.
Fair.
Agreed.
The category is best multiplayer, not best most likely to tear families apart.
This isn't Mario Party. This is Mario Kart.
There's just no way it wins.
Am I playing Mario Kart wrong?
It's a
Yeah,
distant
no.
third. It's a distant third.
All right. No blue shell coming down the ramp. Anyway, best sports racing game. I found it very interesting that Madden wasn't on it because one of the big
yeah.
heralded things about Madden this year was that it was doing the single player thing like FIFA did.
I think it took some swings at people of color that didn't exactly.
Oh, did it?
Not swings at them, but I think it tried to tackle some sensitive subjects that I don't think it handled well. There's a stigma about black quarterbacks not being able to actually understand the game. I'm just telling you. I've heard several comments from friends who played this campaign. I'm not that surprised. I guess whatever. I mean,
Okay. We've also got two football games, FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer, that are always at odds. When I used to work at the GameStop,
Yeah.
it was an even keel of FIFA versus PES. Do you have PES?
Really?
Do you have PES? Do you have PES? Do you have FIFA? Do you have FIFA? Do you have FIFA? And so they're still doing something right. And the fact that FIFA doesn't have that exclusivity is really interesting. But also Project Cars, NBA 2K18, Gran Turismo Sport, and Forza Motorsport 7. Because it's sports and racing,
what a stupid category.
it could, yeah.
God, I hate this one too. It's so bad. And 2K18 wins this one too.
I think NBA does. Yeah.
I would like to see.
It's the most
Forza.
consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, and then by all
Just
accounts,
because
this
I
game.
like Forza.
Yeah,
Then this year I heard was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I think
but
they
I
put
I
out a
haven't
good
even
game
played
this
it, but
year.
I am a Forza fanboy.
That's an Xbox One X system seller for a lot of folks. Best strategy game: Halo Wars 2, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Total War Warhammer 2, Tooth and Tail, and XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. I've heard a lot of great things about XCOM 2.
It should
Tell
be
me-
XCOM 2.
Tell me which wins.
It should be XCOM 2. It should definitely
Well,
not be
it's a
Halo
strategy
Wars 2.
game.
It's not going to be Halo Wars.
It will not
I heard a lot.
I haven't heard about that.
People
Rabbids.
didn't know what Mario Rabbids was. They bought it because it had Mario in the title, and they were happily surprised.
be. That it was an
Okay.
XCOM game.
Okay.
But they don't know what XCOM is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is this is it's XCOM Lite, and it's a lot more approachable for people because it's got Mario in the title. So I not to say that that's the best, but I think more people played that. Actually, no, I'd say about an even amount of people because of the Switch, and it's not wealth of games right now. New game, hey, I'm gonna buy that new game. A lot of people were playing that. A lot of people were playing XCOM 2 as well.
Yeah.
I think
I'm not a fan of the Warhammer and the other one, Tooth and Tail. I've seen and I'm interested in playing, but XCOM that expansion was just so good. Like it's like a whole game. Like they added so much content and they fixed so many things, like quality of life things, and the story.
They're treating it as a game.
Is really good. Yeah, I mean it's like a full game.
Best family game: Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Sonic Mania, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey. All of these are playable on the Nintendo Switch.
I haven't played one of them. What wins, Mark? You got to give me your expertise. Odyssey takes this.
Like in terms of appeal, Mario Kart 8 might be the only other one.
Yeah,
Sonic Mania wasn't big enough.
Nope.
It's great. Like fanboys love it, and it's a really solid Sonic game. But in terms, people, I mean, I myself included, bought a Switch for Super Mario Odyssey.
Yep.
And Splatoon 2 is great. I don't consider it a family game.
Sure.
I mean, they just didn't want to call it best Switch game, really. Like the only thing is that Sonic Mania is available on other consoles. That's the only thing, or else this would be best Switch game.
Sure.
But I think it's going to be Odyssey. Best fighting game: Arms, Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Nidhogg 2, and Tekken 7.
Nate, what wins? What wins, Nate?
It's so dumb that
What is
it's
it?
like they set these
Injustice?
categories up so that Injustice could get a win. It's so bad. I want Infinite to
You
win
can play
just so
as the
Injustice
turtles.
doesn't win,
It's
but
not
Injustice is probably gonna win.
You can play as the turtles.
It's bad. It's bad.
Dude, Infinite
Infinite
is not good.
I know. That's why I'm saying I wanted to win just so that Injustice doesn't win.
I know.
But
No, if there's a game that's going to do that,
I want the
it's-
Dragon Ball Z game to win this award.
If there's the beta, I want the Dragon Ball Fighters beta
Yes.
to win.
Yes.
If there's
Yes.
one, if Injustice doesn't take it, I think it's going to be Tekken 7. Because Tekken 7, the community has responded a lot better to Tekken 7
Is this
than
one better
Marvel
than
vs. Capcom.
6? Is that
Incredibly
why?
well.
Better than 6, but it's also got a lot of.
Fans
It's huge in Japan.
Yeah.
Like it's still got a huge community and a heavy following in Japan. And yeah, it's nuts. But I.
Can you
from
play as
my-
the turtles in Tekken?
No.
Okay,
but you can
fuck.
play
That's
as
running.
I know.
But you can play as Noctis. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Hold on.
I think by the time this comes out. But I've played 4 out of the 5 of these, and Injustice is the
I vote for
most,
Nidhogg 2.
the most well-rounded. Nidhogg was a really good
It is
original.
really
I haven't
fun.
got a chance to play the second
I like
one.
the new art style.
Yeah.
Best role-playing game: Divinity: Original Sin 2, Final Fantasy X5. It's for 15 if you don't know how to read those. Nier Automata, Persona 5, and South Park: The Fractured Asshole. This is a heavy category.
Nier wins this, right?
I don't know.
You know, having not played it, I still think so.
I know. People are insane
Should
about
be
this game,
Divinity.
and it's on my list.
Well, here
I'm sure Divinity looks fucking awesome.
should be Divinity,
I believe
but-
that, but I really think Nier's gonna win this.
Well, let me put it like this:
Against
Is Divinity on the Game of the Year
No.
ballot?
No.
Is Final Fantasy on the Game of the Year ballot? Is Nier on the Game of the Year ballot? Persona 5
Persona
is.
5 is, yeah.
Oh, shit.
This is true.
That's one of those like director, writer, picture.
I totally agree, because this is very much like I can't honor you here, so I'm going to honor you in another category. I super agree. And
Divinity.
Persona can't win those other categories, so you might be right.
It could win music.
I
It could win music. Their
Okay.
music is really cool. Action adventure game: Assassin's Creed Origins, Horizon Zero Dawn, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and Uncharted: Lost Legacy.
Played any of these games?
I played all of them.
If Horizon wins this, it definitely will win Game of the Year. If it doesn't win this,
It won't.
then it won't.
Yeah.
I think Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Zelda wins this, and I really want. I want.
Yeah.
I want Horizon to win here, but it won't.
I think Legend of Zelda wins this.
I agree.
What do you think?
Sure.
Okay.
Got it.
Best action game: Cuphead, Destiny 2, Neo, Prey, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus.
I think
Who has
both
the best action?
want and win Destiny motherfucking 2. I think it takes this
Probably.
one. I really do.
Yeah.
Because I think Prey underperformed. I think Wolfenstein did as well. Not that many people have played this,
Cuphead
and I
is
actually
an
think the
action
gameplay
game?
I don't consider it
is
Cuphead
weak.
action.
Again, they're trying to give them some credit.
classification.
And I think Neo was tough. Prey and Wolfenstein dramatically underperformed.
Neo's
so
that's like the Dark Souls,
Yep.
like Samurai Dark
Samurai
Souls.
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
very hard
Yeah,
game.
I want to
Yeah.
play that game, but I know that I would.
Say again?
So frustrating.
What's that? Okay, thanks, Steve. Destiny, they made it feel like an action movie
Yeah.
and give you those moments like the flying past the sun and
I know,
Mercury.
I know.
Like there's so many things that are just, oh, this is action. This is great.
But
And
I
that
feel like
super
they won't-
exciting tank.
They can't, and they don't honor Destiny really anywhere else. Like I don't think it holds a candle in any other category. This is a way to give them some credit.
Best VR AR game: Farpoint, Lone Echo, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Star Trek Bridge Crew Super Hot VR. The only reason I wanted to talk about this one is because Resident Evil 7 is the only full, quote-unquote, full AAA studio game that was released, and if it doesn't win here, why would other studios want to invest?
I think Farpoint is like a Sony tentpole game. Like that is an 8-hour experience that you play with. I don't think it wins. I think Lone Echo wins this one going away, and the only one I've actually played here is Super Hot VR, and that's the one I would want because it's badass.
Yeah, Super Hot is fun.
Super Hot.
Super Hot.
Yes.
All right,
But Lone Echo wins that. I think that is in that community they are all about that game.
Yeah, I want Resident Evil 7 because that means that they may care a little bit more about
That'd be cool.
incorporating VR into quote full game experiences. I'm skipping handheld game because I don't think anybody's played any of those.
Nope.
And the answer is Hearthstone.
Or mobile.
Well, no, because it's
I know.
3DS games.
Right.
It's 3DS games. Best independent game: Cuphead, Hellblade, Night in the Woods, Pyre, What Remains of Edith Finch. Hey, that side of the room. Who do you think wins this
I
one?
hate this category so much. What do you want to win?
I mean, Night in the Woods was such a phenomenal experience. I think it.
I own it. I haven't played it yet. It's the only one on the list.
Yeah. Okay. So with the other ones, then.
Wait,
what do
indie
you-
game?
what do you
Cuphead,
think?
Hellblade, Night in the Woods. So I want Pyre to win this, or Edith Finch, because I think Edith should win every award. I think what does win this is Cuphead.
I hope not. I legitimately
most
hope
likely.
not.
I don't know anything, but
Labor of Love, I'm impressed with what Cuphead realized visually and audibly. Like, I genuinely think Hellblade did some things that, like, no other game have done this year. Like, they took on mental illness in an incredible way. Like, Pyre was criminally underplayed. Like, nobody played Pyre this year, and that game is unfucking believable.
Well, so here's the thing about Hellblade has the look of and no offense to Ninja Theory, but has the look of a AAA
It does.
studio
Fuck,
release.
yes.
And as an independent release,
Yep.
I think that like just even taking out what it's about and what it deals with.
Yep.
But if we're talking about independent in terms of art style, that I think is head and shoulders above the rest of these.
It is, yeah, dude. There's a documentary about this game. Like, they went above and beyond talking about mental illness. Like, I'd be really interested to see if Hellblade takes any of these, any awards.
Best ongoing game. Here we go.
Yep.
Warframe, Rainbow Six Siege, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto Online, Destiny 2.
So I think this category is it's a close race between PUBG and Grand Theft Auto.
Agreed.
Both stole a lot of titles. Like Grand Theft Auto passed $85 million, 85 million.
you don't
got
think
there.
Overwatch is in the?
I do not think it's in this
For
category.
this one.
Not for this year. All
Not
the
with-
headlines were
yeah.
all about those two. I want Destiny to win it, but it won't. It's. I think this was a PUBG, right?
This is a PUBG category.
Yep.
This is a PUBG category.
Anything but GTA.
We've got but it's amazing that that's still considered. We're gonna move speed past these, skipping games for impact. Best performance: Ashley Birch as Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn, Brian Bloom as BJ Blazkowicz in Wolfenstein, Claudia Black and Laura Bailey from Uncharted, and Melina Jurgens in Hellblade.
I want her to win it, but there's no way Ashley Birch doesn't win. There is no way. She was at Forbes 30 under 30 this year. Like,
she was?
Yeah,
She has been
And she
rocking
is
it.
silly.
Look,
she's a wonderful
she's
person.
cool as shit. I think the performance is like, and I don't know if it's how it's written. I actually don't like Aloy as much as a lot of these other characters. I think Melina Jurgen, who was just a stand-in, who works in like the editing department, and they mocapped her face, and she was so good. They said, by the way, could you please star in our game? Like, she has no right. I really wanted to win, but I don't think she will.
Audio design. Destiny 2, Hellblade, Resident Evil, Super Mario, Legend of Zelda. I'm gonna say Resident Evil 7.
I want Destiny 2's gonna win. I want Hellblade to win because
Yeah.
also in that documentary they
Okay,
talk about all
that's
the
true.
crazy
It is all
voices
about sound
that
and-
go around. Like, they literally built human ears and then created a soundstage where they had the actors walk around this human set of ears to really fuck with your head.
That's really cool.
It's
That is
incredible.
amazing.
It's so dope.
Yeah.
I watched this whole thing on it because I was riveted. But Destiny wins that one too, right?
I don't know. I legitimately don't know. Maybe Legend of Zelda. Maybe.
Okay.
Best score music: Cuphead, Destiny 2, Nier Automata, Persona 5, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Destiny want and win.
I mean, I feel like Zelda's got a really good chance here, and I
Nope.
think Persona 5.
I disagree with
running.
Zelda. I just
Yeah?
because Zelda's so bare bones. I'm
Music
sure, like,
music isn't as important in this Zelda.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And I like maybe audio design they stand a better chance, but they're just so it's almost silence, right? Like as you're wandering around the environment. So I don't think Zelda stands a chance. I think this is another Destiny. Like that was we all lost our minds at how good that score is.
And
It's
it's
the best part about the game.
I
it still
agree.
evokes so
It's
many
so
emotions.
good.
I hope Persona 5 has a chance. Art direction: Cuphead, Destiny 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
So Cuphead wins this one too, right?
I don't know, because Horizon Zero Dawn, like that,
The
all of those
machines are-
animals
I
and the
want
colors.
machines.
colors.
They're
Design
my
is beautiful.
wants. I agree. I
Yeah.
think the enemy design alone in Horizon Zero Dawn should win it. And I would have bet you $1,000 at the beginning of the year that would have. But like, Cuphead is insane. It's insane. I don't know.
All
think-
of these stand a chance.
I agree.
And it's hard to.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
hard
that's
to,
a
This is a good
really tough
category.
one. Yeah.
Solid.
Speaking of hard category, best narrative: Hellblade, Horizon Zero Dawn, Nier, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Wolfenstein 2.
This is the hardest category. I
This
quit.
is definitely
for you.
This is anybody's game.
Honestly, just from the way that it was presented, I want What Remains of Edith Finch.
Me too.
To
That
say,
or
I mean,
Wolfenstein.
that was something so unique.
From what
narratively.
both of y'all have said about Wolfenstein and What Remains of Edith Finch, and I hope to know about What Remains of Edith Finch very soon.
Yeah.
But with Wolfenstein 2, it's so relevant and a lot of the story stuff that you're talking about and how important it hits, I think that it's important for it to win this
Do you
one.
think I
even
would
even
hope-
sight unseen.
Yeah.
Sight unseen.
I really like. I will
From the
fist pump.
trailers alone.
I will fist pump
Fair.
if it wins. I don't
Hell
think
yeah.
it does. I actually think it'll go to. I think this might go to Horizon.
Which also was a really
Don't
well
go-
crafted narrative.
I agree, but I'd rather Wolfenstein or Edith get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was very visceral.
Yeah. You tried.
Best game direction: Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Wolfenstein 2. I think this is pretty crazy.
This is where I think Wolfenstein
Yeah.
has a good chance of winning because the cutscenes are exceptional.
Yes.
I mean, so I think this one actually stands a better chance of winning than the other one.
Yeah,
but
going over
Zelda wins
narrative.
this one, right?
I don't know.
Zelda
I think
wins
Odyssey could win it
this.
too.
I haven't
People
even played
fucking
it, but
love
I
it.
would say Odyssey or Zelda.
I think. Oh yeah, I think Odyssey might be a distant second. I think Zelda walks away with this one. But you could be right,
Yeah.
Nate. I'd be interested. This could be anybody's game.
Yeah. these ones
Speaking of
are-
anybody's game.
Anybody's game.
Speaking of anybody's game, this is a very interesting Game of the Year category. Some of the stuff that I didn't really expect to be on this list are, excuse me, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Super Mario Odyssey, and The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the
Has
Wild.
one of
at
those games
Nintendo.
not been released yet?
Yes, Persona
Yeah.
5.
Look at Nintendo with 2 of the
When's that
5.
coming out again?
Yeah, it's still in beta.
Who wins this game? Who wins this?
I don't know.
PlayerUnknown's
I kind of.
Battleground.
I think PUBG or Zelda.
Really though? Really PUBG?
I mean, I don't know if I want it. I kind of want it as like the anarchist in me wants it, but I don't know.
Look, but like if you look at like who's voting for it right now, like I know that the giant bomb guys are huge. Like you look at the major sites of who goes into voting for this, I feel like a lot of those people are already totally enamored with PUBG. I think it.
But some of the shine has worn off, especially in the last few months.
You're right.
Because there haven't been as many content updates and stuff because they've been like holding back on that.
But also, when did
But this past few weeks they've
They have rolled out
been rolling
several
out, yeah,
things.
the new stuff and the vaulting.
The
and-
mantling, yeah.
when did the bubble really start to build? When did people start going, "Hey, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds"?
April.
Yeah.
April. Okay, I was gonna say because Horizon was February,
February.
so that and people are still talking about it, and Frozen Wilds is 100% a way to remind people, and then
smart.
release
Good way
the
to
Game of the Year edition of the game
Smart.
as well. So I think Horizon Zero Dawn takes it. I would
No.
like Odyssey to take it.
I don't think-
because that's a system seller. Though I did buy a PlayStation 4 Pro just for Horizon Zero Dawn, so I'm a bad person to talk about system sellers.
I would love it.
You want to talk about the anarchist in you?
Yeah.
Game of the Year, Persona 5. That would freak people the fuck out.
Yeah, they would.
Boy.
You think so?
Yeah.
I heard a lot about that game. I'm not
Yes.
surprised.
But I think in terms of like a mass
it is a
audience,
distant
Yeah.
fifth in
Yeah.
this list. I think it is a long shot.
yeah.
If Vegas were making odds, it would be 100 to
Wait,
1.
yeah.
So that wasn't even all the categories. If you want to hear more about that, let us know. We're planning on being on and around the Video Game Awards, so please follow us
Yeah.
on all of our social medias for updates on that. That's going to be a big weekend for games. That is also the weekend of the PlayStation experience here in Southern California, in Anaheim, and we're trying to be there as well. So make sure to follow us on all appropriate social media. And what are you most excited for these next couple of weeks? It's Thanksgiving week. Maybe you have a little bit more time to play. Patrick, where can the folks find your social media? What are you up to?
Find me at Pete of the Dees. Please tweet at me. We're going to be live at the Video Game Awards. We'll be tweeting pictures and like our reactions to awards as they go live. So please tweet at us. And if I'm going to say this every show until the end of the year, please play Wolfenstein 2. It's incredible. Over the break, I'm going to be playing a little. I'm going to do a deep dive into Assassin's Creed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stacey.
Down with that. Guys, I'm Stacey Shuttles. You can find me Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Steam at Stacey Shuttles. I'll be spending my week off. Yes, whole week off.
Nice. Very
I'm going to
nice.
try to get through Wolfenstein because I'm real deep in that narrative already and ready to see where that goes. I'm going to finish up Frozen Wilds and hopefully get back into Assassin's Creed and play a couple more of these games that I haven't played yet on these lists. I really want to play Hellblade. So
Yeah.
that's my...
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Be
Yeah.
in a good mental space when you play that.
That
Just
is,
be,
yeah.
Be thinking happy
Prepare
thoughts.
yourself.
Nate, keep booze out of the house.
What's up, nerds? You can find me on social media, Dog Like Nate. Tweet me. We can play Destiny. We can play League. We can argue. Whatever floats your boat.
I just tweet your song lyrics is what I end up doing all the time.
I like
That's
lyrics,
a true
man.
story. I know. I love it too. I'm just.
I feel good when I recognize one of them. I'm like, I know that song.
That's
Me too. I immediately
try
go
to-
to the next lines. I'm like, yes.
I try to pick like standout lyrics, but still somewhat obscure.
Yeah. I
You're
get
not
excited
as
every time.
It's
yeah.
fun.
Nerds. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. You can find all of us at Inventory Full PT. We stream on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on iTunes, go to twitch.tv/InventoryFullPT. Give us a follow because we
Please.
stream games all week, or throughout the week, I should say. And then I like running through some of our old content on vodcasts. So make sure to check out some of that. I think we're gonna play some Blizzard World on the PTR tonight. If not tonight, then very soon.
Tonight. I'm
Tonight.
making it happen.
We're doing
I'm
it
saying
tonight.
We're going to be back streaming on this channel in a little bit. Thank you so much to all the folks at the Popcorn Talk for giving us this platform to talk. But make sure, don't you go changing. We'll see you next time right here on Inventory Full.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.